Continuing with the tour books, this one is for Kiss Hot in the Shade, and again, I'm not sure if I'm going in order with the way that these were filmed, so some things, when you get to the Revenge one, I think I cover all of this. But Kiss usually put out oversized tour books, and to compare, this is a nice sized tour book for In Excess. I have a video on this as well. And when you place it on top of the Kiss tour books, you can see the Kiss tour books by far surpass the size of them. And this tour book here is, of course, bigger than an 8.5 by 11. Sorry, I don't know the dimensions offhand, but it's pretty big. So Kiss, Hot in the Shade. This tour book comes with a lot of memories in terms of the show, the album, the time period, everything. It was from 1990-91, and it turned out that this would be the last tour with Eric Carr. And it was the return to their bigger shows. Kiss always put on good shows, even in the 80s, like Asylum and whatnot. But as far as a big production with lots of lights and the stage props themselves, this was a return to that. Whereas Asylum had a great light show, fantastic logo with effects and whatnot. Hot in the Shade brought to life Leon the Sphinx. And yes, that is a nod to heavyweight boxer Leon Spinks, who defeated Muhammad Ali for the heavyweight title, and he was considered probably pretty much an underdog in that fight. And Kiss chose a Sphinx as the backdrop for their stage, or a main design element, and they named him Leon. So there you go. And of course, he's got the sunglasses on because, hey, when you're hot in the shade and there's a lot of sunshine, you need to be careful there. And here is the opening spread that showcases the audience and that massive stage. And you can see the lights, and you can see Leon in the background. Leon also actually served as the entrance medium for the band. Lasers were coming out of his mouth as it opened up, and suitable Egyptian music heralded the start of the show. And the band comes bursting onto the stage after standing at the mouth of Leon for a few minutes. And here's the introduction. Of course, some great photography of the band. And I love the group shots from this time period. They were really... The Hot in the Shade album was kind of a mix of songs. The production was kind of spotty. I think Gene and Paul pretty much helmed that again themselves. I think that was continuing the trend for them at that time. But there were definitely some gems on there. And the show itself was really good. There were a couple of moments where Paul and Bruce did like a bluesy type jam. Kiss was really trying to showcase the fact that they could really play. And I think they probably kind of cursed themselves with songs like Rock and Roll All Night, their biggest hits and whatnot. There was a perception that Kiss as a band could not play, and that was the furthest thing from the truth, as fans like myself will attest to. Every album was something else. And here's a great shot of Paul leaping up the drum riser. Again, this repeats the breakdown of featuring each of the band members. And the middle section of this is coming out. Oh, I just noticed that. This one I intend to keep because I think this is the only one that I have. But there's the late great Eric Carr, Bruce Kulick, Paul Stanley, and Gene. A fantastic tour book, per usual. Kiss, I think, has some of the most amazing tour books, and at great prices. I mean, wasn't like a Madonna or Duran Duran, where at the time that they came out, they were just, charging you so much money. Kiss offered you quality merchandise at pretty reasonable prices, I think, at the time, especially for something like this. For a fan like me, you just ate it up. Unbelievable. And here are some shots of the stage from that time period. And there's also a timeline of Kiss-tory, if you will. And some great shots of the band. Per usual. The Kiss extravaganza. And Leon definitely didn't disappoint. He also sang some lines, or a line from God of Thunder, which was really kind of cool. And I remember when we were at Deer Creek, the music theater near Indianapolis, at the time. I don't know if they changed because of all the corporate naming and sponsorships. The show was awesome, but there was a big storm that came up. And no joke, right after God of Thunder, there's a bomb that goes off on stage, or a percussion blast, if you will. And literally, Mother Nature timed it perfectly. There was a crack of lightning and thunder at the same time, and the power partially went out. It was a trip. It was a total trip, and there's Eric Carr. Great sense of humor, cool guy. He's totally missed. God rest his soul. And here, I mention this at the end of every tour book, or somewhere in the tour books, they always have an overview of the albums that they put out. And they tell you the status, gold, platinum, and their videos. And I love that. It really puts into perspective that this is a band that had a history with the makeup, and then definitely had a history without the makeup. And of course, now it's gone completely full circle. The most incredible band. And here are the tour dates for those shows. Now, let's see, when was Deer Creek? Is it on here? Oh, by the way, that's another view of the stage. This is where the KISS logo makes an appearance. Leon kind of blows up and kind of falls to pieces and disappears into the stage, and then during I Want You, the KISS logo starts to rise up, and that was like just amazing, amazing. June 3rd was Chicago. We went to see them at what was then the World Theater. And then a couple of dates later, June 8th was the Indianapolis Deer Creek date. And this, my friends, is KISS, Hot in the Shade.